What else we got to talk about? Oh yeah, let's talk about some baseball. Now, I'm not really going to talk about any specific team. Maybe I'll mention some things about the teams that these players play for, but I wanted to talk about this with you guys because this is kind of a momentous period in baseball in terms of players. Because those who we grew up watching and admiring and going through what these guys went through, it's all coming to an end. So let's talk about this real quick because Ichiro finally got his 3,000th hit in the majors. Awesome. He's got over 4,200 if you include the over 1,200 he had in Japan. First ballot Hall of Famer. Couldn't be more happy for the guy, but he's going to be most likely done after this season. Prince Fielder. You guys hear about this? This is heartbreaking. He's had that neck problem, and this is the second time he's had this neck surgery, neck injury, whatever it was. He's out. He's done. He can't play anymore. And he signed that 9-year, $214 million contract with the Detroit Tigers. And he's going to get some money, absolutely, because he was forced to retire due to medical reasons. So it's not like he's going to be gypped out of the cash. But, man, too early for one of the better hitters in the game. He hit 319 career home runs, the same as his father. And his father's career ended prematurely as well. So, man, that's a weird kind of thing, isn't it? That's too weird to be a coincidence. But the game of baseball has a mind of its own, and it'll tell you enough is enough. And, man, for Fielder to just end his career at 32 so abruptly, it's just heartbreaking. You never want to see that. He was a part of that really fun Milwaukee Brewers run in 2008 when they went to the NLDS and lost to the Philadelphia Phillies in the first round. But at the same time, he was huge in making the Brewers relevant again. He actually took the Brewers to the NLCS, helped take the Brewers to the NLCS in 2011. You remember that was the last really good season Milwaukee had. Then he was signed with Detroit, and then the rest is history. Got traded to Texas, Ian Kinsler, and now it's over for him. It's over. And I'm going to continue on, but look at the pattern here. These are recognizable names. Prince Fielder, Ichiro, Mark Teixeira. Mark Teixeira's calling it a career. And I think he's just had about enough. It's tough for a guy who's been hurt so much. He's 36 years old. He was a major reason why the New York Yankees won their World Series in 2009. He was a part of some pretty darn good teams throughout his major league career. Is he a Hall of Famer? Probably not. Is he a part of the Hall of Very Good Players? Yeah, definitely. Teixeira's current career slash line sits at 269, 361, 510. That's an 871 OPS. He's got a career number of 404 home runs. So that's something to hang your hat on. And if I'm Teixeira, you can't. He's got a ring, and he's made a lot of money. Yankees fans are probably not too thrilled with the 8 years, $180 million that he kind of reaped. But overall, Teixeira, really good career. Really good career. And he, like I said, recognizable name. He's going away now. I know he's been hurt a lot. He missed pretty much the entire 2013 season. But he ends his career with multiple Gold Gloves, 3 All-Star appearances, 14 productive years in the big leagues. Can't beat it. That's a good player right there. And baseball's going to miss him. He's been around since 2003. Another guy who's calling it a career, David Ortiz. This is David Ortiz's final season, and he does not look like he's ready to retire. He could even win the AL MVP. He had that recent stretch where he struggled, but man, this guy is mashing as if he were a part of the 2004 Red Sox again. I'll remember David Ortiz for that unbelievable series he had in 2004 where so many clutch hits, ended up being the ALCS MVP, won the World Series for Boston, finally broke the curse. Also, he has to go down as one of the most clutch postseason hitters of all time. His career batting average in 14 World Series games is .455. His OPS is .1372. David Ortiz is a living legend. And yeah, he got called PDs. Happened. It did. And that, you know what? What set him apart from others, like Ryan Braun, A-Rod, who I'll touch in a minute, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, those guys, he straight up admitted, yep, I did it. I'm going to serve my suspension, and that'll be it. And people tend to forgive a little more than those who fight it and want to keep their reputation safe. And it's going to suck without Big Papi in the league. It really will. But 20 years in the big league, what a freaking career for David Ortiz. It's not over yet. We got to enjoy the remaining few months of the season. Hopefully for the Red Sox sake, they're in the playoffs, and we could see one more magical run led by David Ortiz. Definitely going to talk about Big Papi some more down the road. But for right now, I have to mention one last player who's retiring, who's deciding to retire, and that's A-Rod. A-Rod is such an interesting story since he even came up into the league as an 18-year-old with the Seattle Mariners. It was just, this man was all of the rage. And they said that he would be the best baseball player in the game for years and years and years. When he was with the Texas Rangers, my goodness, there was a 3-year stretch where he was absolutely the best player in the game, and he would do it all. Hit for power, average, drive in runs, get on base, score runs. Defensively, he was very good. He won 2 Gold Gloves from 01 to 03 in 3 seasons. His per 162 game average from 2001, 2002, and 2003, A-Rod hit 305, 395, and 615. That's a 1011 OPS. He had 156 home runs in 3 seasons, which averages out to 53 per 162 over those 3 games, over those 3 years. This man was unreal. Averaged 31 doubles those 3 seasons. Drove in 132 runs. My gosh. Unbelievable. A-Rod, 14-time All-Star, 3-time league MVP, made the postseason 12 times as a player, and without A-Rod, as much as Yankees fans probably tend to just are done with him for now, without A-Rod, they probably don't win that 09 World Series, and that's just flat out. He's ending his career with sitting on 696 home runs, and he's actually playing right now, and he doubled, RBI double in his going away game. So unless he homers 4 times, he's going to stay out of the 700 home run club. But overall, it's a weird conversation because he should be a Hall of Famer. But because of the whole PED scandal and his whole history, that's probably not going to happen. Because if that happens, then you got to open up the case for Barry Bonds, who I believe is a Hall of Famer. You got to talk about even Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, all of these guys who were linked to PEDs, Roger Clemens. It's just one of the conversations that Major League Baseball doesn't want to touch on. But to me, and I'm not trying to make this about a steroid era or whatever, there are different eras of baseball and guys who dominated that era. Now, this is the steroid era. A-Rod dominated the steroid era. So shouldn't he be recognized for that? I know he was on PEDs, but so was pretty like 60% of the league. But I digress. I respect A-Rod. I feel like he paid his dues. He came back in 2015 and really gave the Yankees a chance to make the playoffs. He was among their best hitters, especially at the start of the season. First, 4 months of the year, he was tearing up. It looked like the A-Rod of old. It was unreal. And he spent 2 years away from the game due to injury and whatever he was dealing with. But this A-Rod thing, he can't. He looks terrible this year. Awful. He can't catch up to a fastball. He's hitting under 200 on the year. And it's time. It is time. So he had 1 year left on that long-term contract he signed with the Yankees. 10 years, $252 million. Man. Yeah. Generations. It's moving forward in the game now. He's 41 years old. This man is just about at his end. And I respect, like I said, A-Rod. I know a lot of people disagree with him and the idea of A-Rod. Because, yeah, you remember, what was it in, I believe it was 04 in the ALCS. It was A-Rod slapping the ball out of Oh, who was it? Bronson Arroyo's glove, I believe. Oh, that was insane. One of the craziest moments in postseason. That was such a fun series, and A-Rod was right in the middle of it. He just bitch slaps Bronson Arroyo as it was a big moment. 8th inning, believe it was. Little dribbler back to the pitcher. Man, that's probably one of the highlights. It's not a good highlight for sure. That's probably a low light, but it was just such a memorable moment. A-Rod was in so many meaningful games throughout his career. Carried the city of New York for a few years, really. So overall, you look at A-Rod, it's definitely tainted. And there was a lot of pressure coming on this kid, this young 18-year-old. He's a player that Major League Baseball really hasn't ever seen when he was first coming up. And unfortunately, he succumbed to the pressure of trying to carry Major League Baseball on his shoulders. And he got mixed up with the wrong people, started doing the wrong things, cheating, pretty much. And, his career is tainted for that. But at the end of the day, all of those numbers, are they for naught? Probably, because it doesn't look like Major League Baseball will take pity on those who were steroid users and put them in the Hall of Fame just yet. So, A-Rod, congratulations on a lengthy career. One of the most dominant hitters in the entire history of the game. At one point, he was on pace of breaking Barry Bonds' home run record, but lots of stuff got in the way of that. Overall, though, A-Rod, it was a pleasure hating you for so long. But at the end of the day, I got to just respect you. I do. To end this baseball conversation, though, I want to end it on a lighter note. I know all of these guys are leaving, but it's just to pave the way for the new generation of talent. And my gosh, guys like Corey Seager, Manny Machado, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. Oh my gosh, all these young players who are just dominating. And we see it. Giancarlo Stanton, they're going to be the mainstays. They're going to be the face of Major League Baseball, and it's awesome. So Major League Baseball losing these top players, most recognizable names, it's not going to hurt them because they have backup. They're fine.